In this video, we're talking about the Lesson 4 practice problems numbers 1 and 2. Number 1 says if the equation x plus 10 times x equals 0 is true, which statement is also true according to the zero product property? Well, the zero product property says that if two things multiplied together equals 0, at least one of them has to be 0. It could be this, or it could be this. Part A says only x equals 0, so that would make this part equal 0. Part B says either x equals 0 or x plus 10 has to equal 0. That is the true one, because it could be either of these. It doesn't have to be both, and it just has to be one or the other. So number 1 would be letter B. Number 2 says, what are the solutions to this equation right here? Well, for this first factor, because if it equals 0, that means either this has to be 0 or this has to be 0, because they're multiplying together. So one of them has to be 0 for it to equal 0. To make this first factor equal 0, x would have to be 10, because 10 minus 10 would be 0. So I already know it's either C or D. For this one's a little bit more tricky, so I'm just going to figure out what would x have to be to make that equal to 0. Let's find out. So we add 9 to both sides, and we get 3x equals 9. We divide both sides by 3, and you get x equals 3. So the two values of x that would make this equation equal to 0 would be a positive 10 and a positive 3. That also makes sense because 3 times 3 would equal 9. Take away 9, you get 0. So it would be